Last we left off, the four of you found your way into Grimm Manor. You met a man named Augustus on his way to Grimm Manor. You found out that he is the son of the professor. You asked him about the letter that he wrote for the professor, and he had no knowledge of writing a letter to the professor. You explored the manor before eventually making your way to dinner in the main hall with Constance, which the four of you found out is Augustus's fiance.
I thought you were about to say
Correct.
the four of you found out is a ghost, and I was like,
I was like, wait, when did that happen? I don't remember that.
It is Augustus's fiance. You all sat down for dinner. A few of you have had some interesting sights that have played out maybe in your mind, but you can swear by them. You were sitting at the table for dinner. Constance excused herself. After Sylvester started looking around a little bit, he looked up at a clock, and you realized that time was moving a little bit faster than you can remember it moving. Sylvester looked up and saw this clock, and the time on the clock, instead of the hour hand being at 1 a.m., on the face of the clock, it just had a 13. Sylvester, as you looked down, you saw all the chairs at this table were filled with people. Right when the clock chimed, there was a large burst of lightning, and all the lights went out.
We're from worlds unknown. Our stories untold. Roll away the dice. We'll vanquish the darkness. See the fear in its eyes. No matter the danger from us to send, don't be afraid, just take my hand. Don't be afraid, the prophecy is near. We hold the keys, we make our stand. In this together, just take my hand. Unlocking the magic in distant lands, we're stronger together. I'm here, my friend. Unlocking the magic. Just take my hand. We hold the keys to the kingdom.
The thunderclap is so loud that it sends a ringing through your ears, almost like someone squeezing the sides of your head. And you hear a voice, a very familiar voice. Augustus, you're not hearing this, by the way.
Well, this is attempt 146. There should have been a change by now.
Sylvester, Sammy, and Grak, it's almost like your mind is in a white space. You can't see anything, you can't hear anything. Tricks, your mind flashes back even farther. You find yourself sitting on the floor hugging Marion outside of the aquatic point. Tricks, what did you say to Marion sitting outside the aquatic point right after your fight with Neris?
Sorry, I didn't. I'm sorry that even happened. I should have kept a better grip or something. Maybe Diablo wouldn't have. And I keep messing things up for people around me. I know we've come this far together, but I just let that happen, and it's just like last time. I came out here so you wouldn't have to hear about that again. Sorry.
Tricks?
Yeah?
It's not your fault. I'm sad, but you have nothing to do with that. I tripped just as much as you did letting go of the boat. It's not your fault.
I mean, but I could have even cast fog cloud or something and prevented it, but I just sat there and watched.
At least you didn't shoot the arrow. Listen, the only way the two of us are going to get through this is together. I need you, and I would assume that you can use this bow for something better. So just promise me one thing.
Yeah?
If you see Diablo, make sure you tell me before you shoot.
Okay. I can do that.
And just like that, you're almost sucked back into your mind, and you're in this white space, and the four of you are back in the manor. The lightning flashes. The room starts to illuminate very, very slowly, and it gets to a low dim. You hear the piano in the corner start to play, and it's a very lively tune, and all around you, there seem to be shimmering shapes that, as the light is rising, the shapes take form, and there are about 30 dancers in this ballroom just spinning around each other. The murals in this room start to come to life, and they start to move. You see above you to the left, there's two murals of two gunmen standing back to back, and in an instant they turn and fire at each other, and this entire room just comes alive. You hear behind you the sound of footsteps, and the four of you turn around, and in the walkway up above that overlooks this ballroom, you see Augustus specifically. You see Constance walking from the left side where it comes around to the walkway, walking to the right side.
Would that be towards the attic that she said she never goes into?
Towards the attic. And being in that hallway, you know that hallway specifically doesn't lead anywhere but the attic.
Right.
And she's not walking slowly by any means. It looks like she's trying to get away from something. And she stops on the railing. She looks back over her shoulder. She looks down at you, Augustus, and she screams your name. A light blue orb comes wisping around the corner. It flies out over the ballroom, and it does a couple laps before it freezes. The five of you can swear by the fact that this ball is peering into your soul. It shifts slightly and then makes another circle before taking a straight line straight into Constance's chest. And it hits her. You can see through her chest, her heartbeat, vibrant red, beats, and then it turns purple, and then it turns a deep blue. And her skin, centering from that point, starts to shimmer and turn into a translucent blue. She stares back down at you and she says, "The Queen said this was supposed to be easy. Looks like the Queen was right." And she snaps her fingers, and the piano music stops, and all the ballroom dancers completely stop in their tracks. And she looks down at the five of you, and she says, "There's seemingly more to the four of you," and she points to Grak, Sammie, Sylvester, and Tricks, "than meets the eye. I can feel the power. But what is it?" She stretches out her hand, and Tricks, from your pocket, you can feel movement. Sammie, from your pocket, you can feel movement as the two keys that you acquired lift up into the air even faster than you could even reach to grab them. They float in the about 10 feet off the ground. And she says, "These? Where did you..." "Foolish mortals. You don't even know what these are, do you?" And she pulls her hand back toward her, and both the keys fly, and they get within an inch of her hand, and she holds both of them, spinning, almost dancing around each other, mimicking the ballroom dancers in this room. Just between her fingers, the two keys are swirling around each other, and she says, "These will be a powerful addition to the Queen's inventory." You see her, she starts to almost quiver and shake, and her very violently, her face almost spins 360 degrees, and you see Constance's face again. Not translucent, completely clear, exactly as it was before. "Please help me." And then again flips back the other way into this shimmering ghostly form, and she stares down at your group. "5. It seems to me that you have an unfair advantage." And she snaps her fingers, and Sammie, around your feet a swirl of dark gray fog encompasses you from the floor all the way up above your head and disperses. And the four of you look at where Sammy once stood, and she is gone.
Sammy.
Whatever I paid for that drink at the tavern, I didn't pay enough, obviously.
Then she looks at all of the ghouls in the room, and she smiles. And she says, "Everyone listen." And every single phantom in this ballroom turns and stares at her, and she says, "Kill them." And she floats off up into the attic. Really quickly, I'm going to kind of explain how this is going to work, because in 5e, there's a specific way that ghosts work, and this is not going to be that.
Good, because we can't do that.
No. You guys are all level 5, and you will all either age 50 years or you will die.
Yes.
Here's what we're going to do. Each time that you make an attack roll against a ghost, instead of rolling for AC, I need you to roll a d10. If it is a 4 or lower, it does not hit. If it is a 5 or above, it does hit.
Okay.
Just because I want to streamline this. This is going to be...
Otherwise, it would take forever.
Yeah, otherwise it's going to take a really long time. So I'm going to have you guys roll an initiative. We're going to play it out. We're going to focus more on story-driven than straight D&D.
Okay. Cool.
Basically. She floats up into the attic, and you can still see those two keys swirling between her index finger and her thumb as she floats up and straight through the door into... the attic.
I feel like Grok would probably try and call after her, "Where's Sammy? What you do with Sammy? Get back here!"
You don't get, you don't get any kind of response.
Augustus is pretty just shocked currently. He wants to call out for Constance, but he almost can't. It's like he is so just overwhelmed by this happening that he almost can't verbalize words currently. He's just kind of frozen in place.
Can I immediately attack?
Yeah. You don't know which of these ghosts are friendly.
Sylvester just punches an innocent ghost like, "Hey man, what's your problem?"
How many ghosts are in the room and how
5, 6 at the table. There is one playing the piano, and there's about 30 people on the dance floor. And just in this room, at a glance, your best guess is 50.
I was going to say maybe 999.
There's room for one
the rest
more.
Of the mansion, you'll see.
All right, so Sylvester's gonna say, "Yeah, okay, sorry, just give me 1 sec to make sure this is real. I'm not hallucinating." And he's gonna pull out his horn, and he's going to cast Shatter.
Okay. What does that do?
A sudden loud ringing noise, painfully intense, erupts from a point of your choice within range. Can I cast that in the middle, of where I see the majority of the ghosts?
You can cast it in the middle of the ballroom, yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna do that.
You can see that. It's within
that way it
range.
doesn't hit us. Each creature in a 10-foot radius sphere centered on that point must make a Constitution saving throw. A creature takes 3d8 thunder damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. And since I'm casting it at a 3rd level, there will be an extra 1d8 damage die.
Okay, so what am I saving against? Constitution?
Constitution, it says 14.
I'm going to roll... There's 30 people in this dance, so I'm going to roll 3 times. So groups of 10. So 10 of them save, 10 of them do not, and the last 10 got a 14, so they did not save either. 20 of them you successfully hit, 10 of them saved from it. I just need to know how much damage they take.
Only 9 damage.
Do they take half as much on a save? Or
Yes.
You blow this horn, and from the center of the ballroom, the ground starts to kind of shake, and then just a loud pop erupts through the center of the ballroom, and you see 20 of these ghosts in the ballroom just disappear.
Nice.
And now there's 10 in the center of the ballroom.
Okay, yeah, that felt real.
And the last 10 that are in the center of the ballroom just look horrified. They grab their dance partners and shoot out of the walls.
I think maybe you killed the friendly ones.
Yeah. None of the ballroom dancers were enemies.
Well,
I mean,
it's okay. He had no idea. It's fine.
It's okay. Can you really,
Constance just said kill them.
can
Or
you
not
really
Constance,
kill
this
a ghost, though? Come on.
The 2 ghosts that were in a duel in the painting come out of the painting still floating about 30 feet in the air. First one's going to point it at Tricks, and he's going to look at the other guy that he was dueling, and he's going to say, "Hey, I bet I can hit the little one." And the other one says, no, I bet I can hit the little one. And both of them are going to turn and fire at you, Tricks. Does 10 hit your AC?
No.
Okay, let me roll for the other one. That is a crit 1. So after the first one fires and it hits right below your legs, you kind of jump back as this bullet hits right between your legs, and you see it kind of, and then it just disappears. And the second ghost turns at him and says, now Leroy, that ain't how you shoot. And he points his gun at you and he pulls the trigger and nothing happens, and he turns the barrel toward himself and he clicks the trigger a couple times and it fires, and you just see a cloud of dust fly out the back of where his head would be, but it's a ghost, so it's just like, and then he just disappears. Everybody roll initiative.
I got a 17.
15.
14.
I have a 12.
All right, so there's another one of these ghosts still floating about 30 feet in the air. The one playing the piano shifts towards you. Tricks, what do you do? You're first in the order. What are you going to do? Right now, all you can see is this one about 30 feet in the air. All the ones in the ballroom dispersed. The one at the piano turned around. There's still one up in the air. The others that are in the paintings, they don't seem too active. They just seem like they're kind of holding back, waiting.
I'm gonna shoot at the guy that shot at me.
Yeah, show him how it's done.
All right.
And you said we're doing D10.
Yeah, roll me a D10.
That's a 7.
To see if it hits. 7? That hits. Roll me damage.
I am using Marion. What do I roll for damage?
Roll me a D10.
7 plus my dex is 10.
You pull back the bowstring. When you pull the bowstring back, you hear kind of in the back of the head, she just says, let's do this. And you let the arrow fly. It goes straight through the ghost and pins another one that was behind him up against the wall, and both of them disappear.
She goes, oh, sorry. I was only aiming at him.
Next up in the order is Sylvester.
All right, so yeah, I guess this is real. Okay, you said there's a piano ghost.
Yeah, the piano ghost is the only one that is seemingly actively trying to attack you.
Can I swing my horn as like a
blunt?
Yeah, like a blunt object.
Yeah. Go for it.
How
this
far-
guy is.
how far
He's
away am
probably
I?
about 15 feet. The piano's probably about 15 feet from the table.
Yeah, a fellow musician. He's gonna run over, and then he's just gonna swing the horn in his head.
All right, roll me a D10. 4.
No.
All right, so you get this quip off and you swing your horn, and it kind of goes as it goes by, and this pianist, you see as his chest almost turns into like a fog, and it separates as the horn goes straight through it, and then it collapses, and he is actually up next in the order.
Can I, when he does that, do I have time to put the horn back at my lips and just give a little awkward?
No, I'm gonna say you don't have time to do that, but he is going to reach his hand back and he's going to grab a bunch of the keys off the piano, and he's gonna hold them almost as brass knuckles between his fingers, and he's gonna try to swing at you. And he rolled a 17 plus 2 against AC. 19.
Question: is there a full moon out?
Does that change anything?
No.
It's like there might be. You gotta go outside and
Have you
check.
seen gargoyles?
It is.
All right, so that is 14 points of bludgeoning damage.
Wow.
Ouch.
So he hits you. Next up in the order is Augustus.
Yeah, so I'm going to use Augustus. He has the gauntlet on his arm that is kind of how you said, I think you said he was like a necromancer, technically.
Yeah.
So he has wizard, I guess he would be considered a wizard, but Johnny and I, in creating the character, kind of are using his gauntlet to have specific attacks. So with that
Almost
being
like
said,
a magic wand, but it's his gauntlet.
Right. So they're all kind of tech-centric. So with that being said, I'm going to use Shocking Grasp, which is lightning springs from your hand or gauntlet to deliver a shock to a creature you try to touch. But I'm going to try to use that on the organ ghost that just pummeled.
Okay, so you run up to this ghost. Roll me a D10.
No whammies, no whammies, no whammies. That's a 7.
Actually, roll me damage first, and then I'll tell you what happens.
That's a 15.
Yeah, you quickly run up to where Sylvester is after he just got hit from this piano hand, and you reach out with your gauntlet, and at first your hand kind of phases through this ghost, but he can't react quite fast enough to go between the ethereal plane and this one, and you get a hold of something, and your gauntlet lights up, and you see electricity kind of spark off of him, and he, again, just like the other ones, just explodes into dust. We're gonna pick up at the next part of the order, Grak, with you, so you'll have the first attack on the next one.
Okay.
So the four of you are standing in this ballroom.
Sylvester punches the piano.
Make an attack roll.
Regular, since it's a piano and not a ghost.
Just regular unhanded, not unhanded, unarmed attack.
An 8.
So you rear back and punch the keys, and they sound like, I'm not going to try to do that noise like a keyboard, but you punch this keyboard, you rolled an 8, you swing true, you hit this keyboard, and your hand hurts really bad, but I mean, nothing else really happens.
Never liked the piano.
I'm going to turn to everybody and say, I don't know about you, but I think we need to go after Constance and Sammy. I'm sure they're up in the attic at this point.
I wanted to get out of here, but we've got to get Sammy back.
So if we're all in agreement, I think Augustus is just going to make his way back the way that they learned how to go up the stairs the first time.
So you bust out of the main door in the ballroom, go down one small hallway, hang a right, and you start to run down the other hallway, and another door flies open. And this one you recognize is the same room that you saw all the cooks and chefs, and 3 very, very large, translucent figures fly out of this room. One of them is holding a knife, one of them is holding a pan, and one of them is holding a pot that is seemingly boiling. Grak, you are up in this.
Grak probably at this point has his scimitars drawn.
Okay.
Because he was anticipating
I'll give you
having
that,
to fight the other ones, but everyone else dispatched them too quickly, so he wasn't able to get a swing off. So he's going to say, all right, I'll handle this. And he runs up to kind of like the first one, and he's just going to like try and like swing like as hard as he can through whichever one's closest.
No question.
All right, give me a D10.
That's a 2.
Okay.
Extra attack. Oh, look, another 2. Great.
Nice.
All right, so you very confidently
just say, I'll take care of this.
Yeah, you very confidently take out your scimitars and you run forward and swing both of your scimitars, and both of them easily go right through this ghost, and you strike a pose on the other side, and the ghost just kind of turns and looks at you and is like, what was that? And it does no damage.
I don't like this place at all.
Augustus turns to Tricks and Sylvester and goes, was that it?
Good job, buddy. You did great. Thumbs up. Big old thumbs up from beyond the
and then Augustus says, is that normally how he takes care of things?
Fantastic.
I mean, it usually goes better.
So he's going to action surge and say, let me try that again. Okay. All right, there we go. That's an 8.
All right, that's a hit.
Yep.
I feel like Grak should look back at us and we're all like giving him thumbs up, like, you got this, you got this.
Big thumbs up.
That's a 10. An 8 and a 10.
Fantastic. All right, give me both damage.
That's 7 on the first attack and 6 on the second.
So you give your quip, and then you turn, swing the first time, and it swings right at his neck, and it slices through. And then you swing the second time, and it's at his midsection and slices through. He kind of just turns at you and gives a little shrug, and then very slowly his head starts to float off, and then his body does the exact same thing.
Nice. All right.
Cool.
That was the one with the dagger, or the kitchen knife. One has a pan, and one has a pot of some kind of liquid that looks like it's boiling. Let me roll just initiative for these guys real quick. The one to the left of you, Grak, after you swing the second time, the one with the frying pan, he's just going to fly towards you and kind of give the frying pan a backhand and he's going to try to hit you, and that is hey, does a 4 beat your AC?
Let me check. No.
Okay, so he swings, and you easily just kind of move your head out of the way and just swings right past over your head. And then now it's the one with the boiling stuff, and he is going to throw this boiling water. He's going to try to hit all of you. So everybody make me a dexterity saving throw. Oh, no.
That's not good.
Not a good sound.
21.
8.
5.
I'm guessing by the sound it was a nat one.
It was a natural 1 for a total
Fantastic.
of 2.
So he throws this pot of boiling water. Augustus and Sylvester, you're going to take 14 points of acid damage.
Oh.
Okay.
Grok, it's just 16. It's just 16.
Okay.
So I rolled a 2 on the d6. So you're going to take 16 points of acid damage. Next up in the order is Tricks.
I'm gonna shoot at the one that just threw the boiling water.
Okay.
That's a 1.
Oh my gosh.
Managed
Tricks,
to avoid it.
you
At what cost?
pull back this bow, the bowstring, and you can feel something kind of rest on your shoulder, and it starts to slither across your clavicle and around your neck. You fire this arrow right as it pulls you up to the ceiling. The arrow flies and hits the ceiling. As you kind of grab at this, you can feel that it feels almost like a rope, but it seems to be moving kind of on its own. Not trying to choke you, it's just trying to hold you away from doing anything else. So you are prone, but in order to be able to move on your next turn, you will have to get out of the situation you're in.
Guys!
Next up in the order is Sylvester.
Did you say that the rope is a creature?
Yeah, I would.
Okay. Sylvester's going to look up at the ceiling then, where Trix was just pulled. He's going to pull out his horn. Hey, you should put her down. Kind of suggestion, and he's going to play it kind of like the way snake charmers do. Oh, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. On a failed save, it pursues the course of action described to the best of its ability.
All right. I'm gonna give this rope a 2 in wisdom, so that's a minus 6.
I would also like to say Sylvester would position himself to catch Trix, so that way she doesn't hit the ground.
Okay, cool. So that was a 13 minus 6, which is a 7. So you start to play your horn. This snake starts to kind of shift with you as you're playing it, and it unravels and Trix falls. Are you catching Trix?
Yes.
Okay, so you catch Trix as she falls, and this rope snake kind of quickly slithers back up into a hole in the ceiling and disappears.
Thanks.
Yep.
Next up in the order is Augustus. You still got these 2 ghosts in front of you.
So I'm gonna pull that big wrench out that I've been hiding from everyone up until this point, and
you have it kind of attached to your back with a leather strap.
You're right, and I'm gonna go for the I'm gonna go for the ghost with the boiling pot.
Okay.
And I'm just gonna haul back and sprint towards him with it behind my back and just go for a swing right to the old temple.
All right, give me a D10.
Ooh, that was an 8.
Fantastic. So it connects.
It was almost a 2.
It connects. Roll me damage. 2d6 plus 1.
That's a 7.
So you swing this spanner. Which one are you trying to hit? The one with
the pot with the boiling. With the boiling.
The acid.
Acid.
Okay, so you swing this wrench. You catch him right in the temple, and almost instantly as he shifts, he just disappears into the air. Grok, you're up.
So there's just the one left at this point.
Just
right?
the one with a pan.
So I guess Grok is drenched in hot water, and he's like, "That hurt." So he's gonna kind of hold his scimitars in an X in front of him and kind of slash out at the guy.
Okay.
So D10, not the D20. That one's a 3.
All right.
And that was a 10.
Okay, so you go ahead and roll damage on that 10.
6.
It's almost impossible to tell which of these 2 scimitars actually connects, but you sweep them in an X pattern across the midsection of this ghost, and you can tell that one of them connects, but he a chunk of his side kind of again blows off into dust, and he floats backwards, but he's still up.
Okay.
He kind of holds the pan up in front of his face, and he disappears. He's just gone.
Fun.
Is Trick still being held up by this rope?
No, Sylvester charmed the rope,
right.
and she did fall.
Naturally.
I feel like Grok would just start like swinging around wildly, like, where'd you go? Where are you?
Trix is sticking close to Sylvester, and she is watching the ceiling.
Once there's nothing like seeable in this hallway, Augustus is just gonna bolt for the stairs. Like, he's got tunnel vision.
You run the extent down this hallway, make a right turn, and you start to climb this stairwell. And this is the same stairwell that you originally first came up.
In the music room?
The four of you are, next to the music room.
Okay.
The four of you are sprinting up this stairwell. And as you're running, laser eyes focus straight ahead on the stairwell. It begins to stretch in front of you. And the longer you run, you realize that you're not getting any closer. And Grok, you turn around and look back down the stairwell, and the four of you are only about 5 stairs up.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
We might want to try a different stairwell.
Hold on, Grok. Try running up again. And Sylvester's going to step off the stairs, and he wants to see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, so you're going to be like observing me running up the stairs?
Yeah.
Okay, so Grok's going to keep trying to run up a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, so you run up the stairs, and Sylvester, from your vantage point, he kind of runs up and disappears as if he were to have climbed the entire set of stairs. And you kind of lean forward to look up. Grok, without even understanding what just happened, you're now behind Sylvester as he's looking up in these stairs and kind of confused, standing right behind. And Sylvester, you turn and see him right behind you.
Yeah, I don't think this is going to work. We got to find a different way
fair
up.
enough.
I guess this is a dead end. Maybe we should make our way towards the other stairs and try those. I don't think we have much time left.
Sure.
Sounds like a plan.
The four of you leave this staircase, turn around, run back down the same hall that you just came down, turn left, and start to run down the second hallway. Augustus, as you're running, you kind of look back over your shoulder to make sure the others are still with you, and you run into something seemingly solid. And as you turn back and look, the blocking your way to the rest of the stairs is that same ghost with the frying pan still in front of his face.
Oh my gosh.
He's going to kind of spin the pan and swing it straight down at you. Does a 15 beat your AC?
My armor class is an 11.
Okay, so he starts to almost karate chop you with this pan. He brings it right down in the center of your head, and you are going to take just 2 bludgeoning damage.
It makes a very satisfying sound, though.
So he bonks you on top of the head. Who was the last one to go in the initiative?
I think it was Grok, wasn't it?
It was me, yeah.
So Trix, you are up.
I'm gonna shoot it. That's a 6.
All right, that does hit. 8
plus my dex is 11.
Oh yeah, you pull back this arrow, let it go, and it goes straight through him again and bursts into a cloud of dust. And you guys can proceed.
And then I ask Augustus if he's okay.
Yeah, Augustus is just like rubbing his head, like kind of stunned, but he turns to Trix and he says, I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for that.
Should we try to be a little more stealthy so we don't get caught off guard by anything?
These are ghosts. Can you hide from a ghost?
The 4 of you turn down this hallway to the left and make kind of a circle around this curved stairway up to the second level.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to go through that door that was locked earlier for sure.
Okay, so Augustus leading this group up the stairs. You get up to the top of the stairs and you start to you get about halfway down this hall and then you kind of put your arms out.
Wait!
You look at this door and this door, it seems to be pulsing, almost like it's a lung taking a breath. The door itself, it seems to be breathing.
Spooky.
Okay. Augustus reaches for the handle and tries to turn it.
Augustus, you reach out your hand and you place it on the handle, and it is ice cold. This ornately crafted handle kind of turns at the end, and you put your hand on it, and it's ice cold, but you just keep pushing it down, and it is no longer locked. And you push the door open. It looks like this hallway is longer than it could feasibly be. You hear the sounds of instruments faintly in the distance. You hear a drum, the patter of a drum. You hear the sound of a knock. You hear a flute play, some woodwind instruments kind of wisping in the air. And you are now in the center of this cylindrical room that's about 15 feet in diameter. At the center of the room, there's a table that's about 3 feet off the ground, and it has this beautiful red and gold patterned tablecloth going around, kind of draped over it and falling down on the sides. And in the center of this table, on a very ornately sculpted base, there is a glass ball with a green mist floating around inside of it.
So when you say the table is 3 feet off the ground, do you mean the table is floating, or the top of the table is like 3 feet tall?
It's on the ground. The top of the table is 3 feet from the ground.
Okay, I thought it was floating too.
No, it's not floating.
That'd be cool, though.
And that would be pretty cool. But it is not. It just kind of has this green mist. And the closer you get to the table, the louder all these instruments seem to be. And once you all are in this room, the hallway behind you, the lights dim, and then the hallway just disappears. Goblins and ghoulies from last Halloween, awaken the spirits with your tambourine. And you hear off in the distance the sound of a tambourine shake. Anybody curious enough to get close to the orb?
Yeah.
Trix is looking for the other door.
Sylvester's checking his instruments. He's really confused.
Yeah, I'm curious enough.
So Trix is kind of just like looking around all the walls, trying to find a way out. Augustus, you get right up to the orb, almost touching it. The smoke starts to spin, and you are now face to face with the same woman that you saw in the hallway that you know as Madame Leota. Her head is inside of this orb. We met today, didn't we?
Yes. Listen, I'm not sure what's happening here, but we need help. You see,
help with what?
Constance, she's been overtaken by something, and our friend Sammy, she's been overtaken by something, and I can't ask you enough for your help, but please.
She cuts you off, and she kind of looks up in her eyes roll back in her head, and she says, "Serpents and spiders, tail of a rat. Show us the mistress wherever she's at." Where her face is kind of turns into that green mist, and it opens, and you can see up in the attic, Constance is kneeling on the floor, sobbing. The smoke shifts around, and she says, "Yes, I can see that. She seems in much distress."
Madame Leota, what can I do? There must be something we can do here. Can I communicate with her? Can I communicate with anyone?
What about Sammy? Where's she?
I've only met this Sammy once. I'm not sure if my magic is quite potent enough to reach Sammy. Choose in your heart any one person to contact. Don't say it out loud, just think it. Augustus, give me an intelligence roll.
That is a 12.
So, again, she kind of looks up into the air and she says, "Creepies and crawlies, toads in a pond. Let a window open to regions beyond." And above her this time, a hand reaches out of thin air and slices open the air, and a pocket opens. And the four of you look into this window. Grak, you specifically realize something very strange in this moment. As you are looking through this window, you see the professor's laboratory. And you see yourself talking to the professor. You know this conversation to be the first time that you, Trix, and Sammy met the professor in the kinetic quadrant.
Right.
And you know this to be the moment that he brought back the building. Mm-hmm. Augustus, what do you want to do?
I'm going to pull out a piece of parchment and my quill and I'm going to write him a note. I'm going to try to write a note to my father and try to pass it through to the other side.
Okay. What are you going to write on the note?
So I, kind of quaking and shaking, I pull out my quill and I write, "Dad, please send help. Grok, Sammy, Sylvester, Tricks, and I are stuck in Grimsville. Augustus." And I fold it up and I try to throw it through to the other side.
Right as it hits this tear in space and time, you hear, and it floats down and gently lands on his desk. And then the portal closes, and Leota turns and says, "If you're wanting to save the mistress, I would suggest a little bit of haste." And she turns her gaze to the opposite end of the room that you guys opened, and a door swings wide open. And you can see through this door, and you can tell it's the other side of the hallway.
Let's go.
Thanks for your help. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm gonna, like, as we start kind of hastily walking towards the door, I'm gonna turn to everyone else and say, "My father was the only person I knew I had a strong enough connection with to try to contact. I'm sorry I couldn't do more."
Trix is just kind of in a daze as she's thinking things over.
And I'm gonna, I suppose the group of us we're gonna make our way towards the attic door.
Augustus, you run out this door. Sylvester, Tricks, you follow him out this door. Grok, as you're leaving, Leota turns to you and says, "Grok, is it?"
What? Yes. Yeah, that's me.
"I sense a great loneliness from you. It's a bit unsettling even for me."
Look, I don't like people peering into my mind, so, do you have something you want to say?
"I have something for you." And almost seemingly out of the bottom of the glass orb, the same living rope slithers across the table. "I think one of your friends may have tamed this beast. He seems to like you." Grok, I'm going to give you a choice right now. Do you reach out your hand, or do you not?
Do I take the enchanted snake rope or leave it on the table?
It's your choice.
Not your choice. I'll make it for you.
Sure. Yeah, that sounds fine.
You reach out your hand, and this rope kind of coils up and stands. And as you reach out your hand, it kind of bridges the gap very quickly, and you hesitate and pull back as the snake slithers up your arm and then extends as it wraps around your torso.
Cool.
And you see the other end of the rope open up and lock in its own tail.
Cool.
Seems like a good fit, or maybe not. The snake perks up and looks, and it's
the rope
looks at you, Grok. Yeah, the rope looks at you, Grok, and it starts to. You can see its tail shake, like it's wagging its tail. And Leota says, "Oh, that must be its name. Hello, Knot. Knott. Congratulations."
All right.
Whoa, cool.
This snake again latches onto its own tail, and it's just this rope snake. It's both.
No, it's not.
It's not.
That's very good. Yeah. But it's about 2 inches thick. It can be whatever length you need it to be.
Sweet.
The three of you are standing outside this door as Grok runs and meets you. And without hesitation, you bolt down the next hallway. And when you get to the door to the attic, Augustus, again leading the pack, you turn the knob. It opens freely. It's not locked anymore. You start to walk up these stairs. As you're walking up the stairs, Augustus, roll me a perception check.
An 11 plus 3, that's a 14.
As you're walking up these stairs, you see murals on the side of the stairwells as you're going up. And each of them have dates on them. And it seems to be your fiancée, Constance, with different men. And at the bottom of the first one, it says Constance Grimm. Mm-hmm. The bottom of the second one, it says Constance Kane. The bottom of the third, it says Constance de Doom. The bottom of the fourth, it says Constance Bank. The fifth, Constance Harper. The sixth, Constance Hightower. And the seventh is just a blank frame. As you're making your way up these stairs, you reach the top. You look over, and Constance is like on her knees, just weeping.
Augustus starts to feel that magnetism that he felt before when they first met Constance in the parlor, and he kind of just feels his body moving towards Constance, and he reaches his hand out to put it on his shoulder, and he says, Constance,
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Augustus, you need to marry me right now. If you marry me right now, it's the only way to break this curse. Please. Please.
Constance, what's happening? What's happening tonight?
Listen, the only way to break this curse, please, just say that you will.
I don't know if I trust this.
I don't either.
You could make an insight check or something.
Yeah, probably. Let's make an insight check, because Augustus wants to trust her, but there's something in the pit of his stomach that is telling him that something's wrong about her request.
So give me an insight check.
Make a commitment check.
Oh boy. That is a 12 plus 6. That's an 18.
Ooh.
Fantastic. So you can feel in your stomach something is strange about this, and you have your hand on her shoulder, and while she's saying this to you, you take your hand off her shoulder and start to back up slowly as her cries turn into a smile. She stands to her feet. Maybe I didn't give you enough credit, boy. She puts her hands down next to her, and she floats up into the air about 5 or so feet. The brightly colored pink and yellow dress that she had on before starts to fizzle and burn. And again, from that point in her chest where her heart is, as it's burning, you see it slowly at first, but then it flares out. She is now in a silk white wedding dress. Men are all the same. A damsel in distress, a pretty face. This job is getting to be too easy. Charm the boy, kill the boy. And his father, in his old age, dies from a broken heart. And with him that blasted King Georgetown falls too. I haunted my first husband until he took his own life after he threw me down that wretched well. My second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth I took care of with this. And she closes her hands in front of her. Kind of the blue shimmery dust forms into the shape of a very sharp hatchet in front of her. Augustus, till death do us part. Everyone roll me another initiative.
Grok readies his scimitars and says, "There's no turning back now."
I slowly turn to Grok and I say, "Well, Mr. Grok, I know you don't much adopt the belief in ghost stories, but I think we're in one."
There it is. All right, what's everybody's initiative?
I have 10.
Hey, same hat.
Initiative buddies.
12.
Mine was a 4.
Rebecca, what's your initiative modifier?
3.
And that's what I was about to ask.
Oh, mine's 1, so you're before me then.
She's already about 4 feet off the ground. She opens her arms very wide, and from the center of her chest, the same heartbeat starts to glow very vibrantly and brightly, and she waves her arms back and with one motion swings them forward, and a horde of ghosts fly through the attic, hitting all 4 of you and pushing you back and out the 4th story window down into the cemetery.
Okay.
Oof. Well, would I have time to cast Featherfall?
You're casting it on yourself?
Yes. I would cast on somebody else, but I'm pretty low right now.
So you cast Featherfall as yourself as this swarm of ghosts knock the 4 of you out of this window. You very quickly shift and cast Featherfall, and you start to drift a lot slower as you watch as the other 3 fall helplessly the rest of this 30 feet. And the 3 of you, Augustus, Tricks, and Grok, are going to take 8 damage.
Yeah, I'm real glad I cast Featherfall.
The 3 of you fall and hit the ground. As you kind of roll to your side and stand up, you see Horace and his dog both quivering and staring right at you. and Horace, and it's pitch black outside. Horace lifts up his lantern and shines it at you and says,
what you for doing in my cemetery?
Augustus painfully points up to the window.
He shifts his gaze straight up, and as he does, the four of you all shift your gaze up as well, as Constance slams through, breaking the rest of this glass window, and her dress kind of billows in the wind as she falls face first into the center of this large open area in the cemetery. And the four of you stand up and kind of run around the gates of the cemetery into where you can see Constance's body laying on the ground, and her arms start to twitch and kind of realign into place, and she stands up very quickly and back up to about 2 feet off the ground, and she holds one hand out, and you see a hatchet form in one hand. She reaches her other hand out, and another hatchet forms in the other hand, and she says, I do, and I did. And she's going to hurl both of these hatchets toward the party. Everybody make me a dexterity saving throw.
18.
Yes.
12
19.
for me.
12, 18, 19. Augustus?
It was a 10.
All right, so she hurls both of these axes as the three of you being more attuned to being in a fight. Tricks, Rock, and Sylvester, you all dive out of the way in different directions as one of these axe, Augustus, hits you right in the shoulder. Oof. You are going to take 7 points of piercing damage.
So my HP is sitting at a lofty 1. I'm definitely down.
So after she heaves these axes, the crypt doors start to creak. The tombstones start to shake a little bit. They start to quake. And you see out of the top of the crypt a skeletal hand as it grabs on and pulls itself out, and it's deformed. The skin on this body is just sinking, and it pulls itself out of this grave, and it walks over to where Constance is, and it reaches its hand out with a bow, and Constance reaches into her chest and pulls out the heart inside of her chest, and you see another crypt. 4 different crypts open up, and she tears this heart into 4 pieces and hands it to these 4 ghouls, and the ghouls quickly slump down and scamper off into 4 different corners of this cemetery. First up in the order is Sylvester.
Gosh darn it, I thought I was done with evil spirits. And then he's going to cast Bane on Constance. Actually, can I see, are they still within in sight, the other little whatever they are, is it scampered off?
The ghouls, they scampered off in 4 different directions. So I'd say the 2, you guys are standing at the, let's just say the west side of this cemetery. Constance is right in the center, and they went to the northwest, northeast, southwest, and southeast corners of this small area. Not small area, it's about a 50 foot from corner to corner. I'd say the 2 that went southwest and northwest, kind of to the corners closest to the 2 of you, you can still see those 2.
Okay, no, that's perfect.
And Constance, but the other 2 you cannot.
Because I can target up to 3 creatures of my choice that I can see.
Constance, 9 plus 6, so 15. What was the beat?
14, so she beats it.
So Constance beats it. She's very charismatic. She's a professional liar.
Not from my opinion, but I understand.
The other 2, I'm just going to roll them both together. Oh, that's a 5, and they're not charismatic at all because they're disgusting little creatures.
That lasts for a minute, so I believe that's 10 rounds.
Next up in the order is Tricks.
Tricks kind of looks around at Constance and the 2 others, as you can see, and kind of in the direction where the other 2 went. Mm-hmm. And she's kind of indecisive about where to go and what to do, and eventually she just points the bow at Constance. And it's still only a 12, but...
Oh, yeah, that beats.
Really? Well, cool.
It does.
The damage is 5.
You pull back this arrow, and you're kind of aiming back and forth, and you're just kind of wondering who to aim at, and you hear, in the back of your head, you hear, aim for the biggest one. And you point it at Constance, and you let an arrow fly, and it flies through the air, and right as it's about to hit her, she reaches up her hand and grabs it about 2 inches from her face, but the arrow slips and just kind of pierces right into her forehead.
While she's holding it, I'm going to shoot again because I have extra attack now.
All right, hit me with it.
So she's got her hand in front of her face. I'm going to shoot again.
Yeah.
That's a nat 20.
I was about to say roll with advantage, but okay. You fire this arrow. She catches it about an inch from her face, and it kind of digs a little bit into her forehead before she pulls it out, and she looks at it and just kind of chuckles right as the second one hits her. I'm just going to say right in the center of the chest, right where her heart would be. Tricks, you notice as you fire this bow, it starts to glow with almost an amber pearlescent light as it fires through the air, hits her square in the chest, and the light starts to grow from where it pierced her skin. The light starts to grow, and she grabs it and pulls it out. Trix, what was the damage on that?
I rolled a 6, so that would be a 9. Times 2 if we're doing
times
that.
2 for a crit. And I'm going to say that this is also going to do radiant damage. And she is a ghost, so it's going to be doubled from that too. 36. All right.
Wow.
Jeez.
All right.
Holy cow.
She rips it out, and she looks at this arrow, and she drops it, and she just screams. More tombs open, and more ghosts flood into the playing field.
Oh boy.
In game terms, meta terms, if you are trying to do a ranged attack, you're going to have disadvantage because there are so many ghosts around. These ghosts are not trying to harm or do anything,
So they're kinda like
but
just
anything
giving cover.
ranged, they're basically giving Trix disadvantage.
Okay.
That's what the scream was. She didn't
That's
want to
fair.
get hit by another one of those.
Gotcha.
Next up in the order is...
I think it's me.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
So how far away is Grok from Constance?
Probably about 20 feet.
Okay, so I could run up to her. I don't know if I want to go for her or one of the ghouls. Could I maybe make an insight check real quick to see like
Sure.
if I can figure out what's the deal with like her splitting up her heart and divvying it out?
Yeah, sure. Give me an insight check.
It's an 18.
Oh,
An 18.
yeah. We got it where it counts, baby.
You are looking at Constance and all this stuff that's happening. These ghosts pop out. You shift your gaze to the left, and you see this ghoul in the corner, and it's holding, kind of with curled long fingers, holding this heart close to its chest, and is not trying to attack, not trying to really pull any attention to himself, save for he's trying to hide this bright glowing piece of her heart. I can't get too meta and tell you what's going to happen if you want to go up and attack him, but just
But it
know
seems
that
like
he
maybe
is...
it's a good idea to take those guys out.
Maybe.
Okay. So Grok's gonna say, all right, looks like you might have a handle on her. I'm going after the ghoulies. And he's gonna run after, I guess, the one that he was just looking at.
right.
And he's gonna try and like stab like at the heart that it's holding.
Give me an attack against AC.
All right, well, the first one's a miss. That's a 7.
Okay.
Second attack, that's an 18.
So the first one, you go to stab, it throws itself backwards and into the wall of a crypt, and you turn again, and are you stabbing or slashing?
I would probably, I guess I'd like stab out with the right hand and then like try and follow up with a slash from the left hand.
So you come across, and you, right between his fingers, you slash this heart. Give me damage.
It's 9 damage, max.
9 damage. All right. So it starts to grow, and then it sprays out this mist, and you hear Constance scream off in the distance,
Nice.
and she is going to take
I think that did something.
23 points of damage.
Wow.
Okay.
Next up in the order is Augustus.
So Augustus is down. He kind of reaches for the axe that's buried into his chest and tries to pull it out, and he just doesn't have enough strength, and he kind of pulls himself up and tries to hide behind a tombstone, like with his back up against the tombstone, and he says, "No, this can't be happening. This isn't happening." And I guess I would have to roll for a stealth if I need to roll at all, but I think the
Okay.
wisest thing for me to do in my 1 HP situation is to try to hide
Okay.
I would assume that would be a stealth.
Yeah, give me a stealth check, and we'll let that carry over for the next turn. If you want that to be your complete action, is just to hide.
It's 14.
Next up in the order is Constance, and she's going to look at Tricks, and she is going to reach out her hand towards you, and she's going to cast Withering Touch. 18 plus 5.
Let me check.
23.
Sorry, I have a 24 AC.
Okay. So, no,
It's like there's no
and
way.
she is going to do 24 points of damage as she reaches her hand out toward you.
Okay.
Holy moly.
So she reaches her hand out, and you feel almost like your life being sucked out of you as she grabs her fingers around her hand, and you kind of stumble back as she lets go of this grip. Next up in the order is Sylvester.
How is Trix looking?
Trix looks like, if you had to say out of 47, maybe like a 15.
Well, if you had to say out of anything, Augustus has 1.
No, well, Sylvester was going to look for Augustus. I was going to say, he looks right, knows he's there, and he goes, look for him.
Augustus ducked down behind a tombstone to your right. I mean, the three of you were right next to each other. None of you moved.
Oh, okay.
So Grak went off to the left. The three of you are standing next to each other. Augustus, after trying to pull this axe out of his chest, kind of shifted down to his knees, and he has his back up against a tombstone. And Sylvester, you're standing right next to Trix is on your left, and Augustus is kind of right in front
so
of
I
you
can't
on your
see
right.
him.
I guess.
Oh, yeah.
I guess
Oh, yeah.
I
In
missed
that
the part
case-
where he took that damage. I didn't realize you were that low.
Yeah, in that
Yeah,
case,
that was like the axe at the very beginning.
Yeah.
Sylvester's
fight.
standing between me, goes, turning back and forth, and he just kind of hops over, puts his hand gingerly on Augustus's head, and casts Cure Wounds at the second level. Augustus gets 16 health points back.
Wow.
And then he's going to turn to Trix and, as a bonus action, blow on his horn in a panicked fashion and give her bardic inspiration.
Next up in the order is Trix.
She's gonna try and shake off whatever just happened, and look over whoever she's holding at Marion, and be like,
I don't know what just happened with that last shot, but can you do it again?
Maybe?
Okay.
and she tries to kind of move where she can get a better shot at Constance, and shoots again. And this is going to be disadvantage.
Yes, any ranged attack is going to be at disadvantage, yes.
Disadvantage, that's a 17 and a 5, so that's still an 18 to hit. Or not 18, I rolled a 4 earlier and hit her, so
I mean, yeah, it still hits. You fire this arrow, give me damage.
11.
You pull back this arrow. The ghosts that are kind of floating in this area now, the arrow just goes straight through both of the ghosts, and you see that same orange gold shimmer as it shoots through these ghosts, and it's going to hit Constance for 22 damage.
And extra attack.
All right.
All right, that looks good, Marion. Let's do it again.
I rolled a 16 and a 20.
Holy
All right,
moly.
you hit for sure.
Trix
That's
gets the
another 11.
MVP medal.
And 11 again.
Yeah.
You pull back this arrow, and again that same shimmer hits her in the opposite shoulder this time, and she kind of looks down at her hands, and the glow starts to spread, and again she just grabs him and yanks him out. She is going to have a reaction. She is going to... Okay, this spell
If
is pretty
possible,
cool.
Trix would also like to duck
Give
behind a
me
tombstone.
Tricks, give me a wisdom saving throw.
Is this against magic?
No.
Well, I rolled a 19 anyways.
Holy
Okay.
Moses.
Trix
in
is
the
just-
world.
Dice are on fire over there.
Constance is going to put her hand straight up in the air, fall straight down through the ground. Just gone. And at the exact same time, and I halved this, just so you know, 6 ghosts come up out of the ground around you, and they all shriek into your ears. You're going to take 28 bludgeoning damage.
Holy cow.
You made her mad.
That was half.
Yeah, that was half.
Yikes.
Trix just drops.
Are you out? You got 0?
Yeah.
Man.
Get those saves up and ready to party. Sylvester, you're still standing right there, and you reach out and touch Augustus, and he feels the strength coming back to him as he kind of pulls this axe out of his shoulder, and it kind of vaporizes and turns to dust in his hand. And you look over and you just see ghosts swarm Tricks in an instant and all shriek at her, and they dip back into the ground, and Tricks kind of stands there staggered and then just falls into the dirt. Next up in the order is Grak.
I guess Grak is gonna keep focusing on his mission. He's gonna trust his crewmates to take care of her, and keep going after her. So he's gonna beeline towards the next closest ghoul. And
so you go from top left to top right. On the map. So you're going from northwest to northeast across the graveyard.
And he's gonna take a couple swings at it. That was a 7. Plus 7 plus 5. It's 12.
That does not hit.
All right. Second swing. And that was an 8, so that also misses, I'm sure.
Yeah, that misses as well. As you're running toward the second one, you try to catch him unawares, and you swing your first scimitar, and he kind of jumps backwards with one hand grabbing onto a large gravestone that's sticking up about 10 feet in the air, and with your second, he again just kind of does like a 360 around it, and he's just holding on to this wall.
Gotcha. I also just noticed rally is a bonus action, so I can do that in addition to my regular attack.
Okay.
So I might just go ahead and do that anyway. Just like as I'm kind of like grappling with this ghoul, I'll be like just kind of yelling over my shoulder, "Tricks, you can do it. I believe in you."
Aww.
Well, that's not much. That's a 4 plus my charisma modifier, which is a -1. So you have 3 temporary hit points.
And when that happens, Constance, right in the center of the field, comes back up. Her dress kind of billows in the wind, and she's back up in the center of the map. Next up in the order is Augustus.
So Augustus is gonna kind of wearily stand back up as he's kind of gaining, health back, and he's going to look at the others and step forward towards Constance, and he's gonna kind of look down at his gauntlet and go, "If this is gonna work, I pray it works now." And I'm going to cast Magic Missile.
Nice.
Out of my gauntlet, which is you create 3 glowing darts of magical force. Each dart hits a creature of your choice that you can see within range.
I don't save from that, right?
I think they just
automatically hits. They hit. Okay. You don't roll against AC or anything? Go ahead and just give me a roll. She's a ghost. Give me a roll against AC, just because I'm curious.
That is a nat 20, everyone.
All right.
You're gonna regret this decision, Johnny.
All right.
So,
how many bolts are you firing? What level are you casting this at?
Yeah, 3rd. And then, Augustus is gonna like shakingly raise his left arm up in the air, and he almost sees while looking at Constance's face, or what was once Constance's face. He kind of, for a moment, feels like he can see her face through what she has become, and he tearfully kind of closes his eyes and just pulls the trigger on this gauntlet.
How many missiles is that at 3rd level?
Oh, at higher levels, when you cast this spell using a spell slot of 2nd level or higher, the spell creates 1 more dart for each slot level above 1st.
So it would be 5 since you're casting it at 3rd level.
Yes.
All right. Oh gosh.
That's
okay.
a lot of magic missile.
What's the damage on magic missile? 1d4 plus 1
per dart.
for every dart. So roll me 5d4 and add 1 to each. So 5d4 plus 5, and then he has to double it because it was a nat 20.
Okay, so that's 15 plus 5. That's a 20.
So double that for a nat 20, and there's a 40.
I just want to say real quick before we move forward that I do feel like I'm going to throw up in this moment. I'm really into this right now, like to the point where my stomach, I have like knots in my stomach.
You raise your hand toward Constance, and you just clench your fists out of the sides all the way around this gauntlet. 5 missiles, and you pull the trigger, and 5 missiles fire as they twist in the air toward Constance, meeting at a central point. And they just explode with this huge eruption. Grak, you're standing next to this creature that's stuck on the wall. And right when this explosion happens, it kind of blinds you for a second. Same goes with you, Sylvester. But this creature just falls on the ground, and its arm outstretches, and you see the heart wither and turn into dust. And Constance, in the middle of this field, is kind of pulsing. You can see her energy kind of just expanding out of her slowly in a very rhythmic fashion. And she looks up at you, Augustus, and she says, This is not how I go. And she is going to summon an axe and fly towards you, and she is going to bring this axe with every fiber left in her being. She's going to bring this axe down on you. Give me a dexterity saving throw.
It's a nat 1.
She flies towards you with a lot of speed, and she lifts this axe above her head and brings it down. Right as she does, you lift your left arm to kind of block this blow as it's coming down. As she's coming down, she is going to hit the gauntlet, and the axe buries itself deep into the gauntlet. Augustus, you give out a whelp of pain as the gauntlet starts to flash a green light and then a purple light, and then it kind of implodes in on itself, and then just the air hits all three of you and pushes you back, and you look into the center of this battlefield, and a crater is in the ground about 5 feet down. And as the three of you walk toward this crater, Augustus, you are gone. Constance is gone. The only thing left in this crater is a pair of shimmering blue axes.
Augustus, where did you go?
Nothing.
Grok just kind of like is standing there at the edge of the crater, and he just kind of like sinks down to his knees, and he's just like looking around. He's like, I thought maybe Sammy would appear or something. I don't know. And he just kind of sits there for a second.
Sylvester runs over to Tricks and uses Cure Wounds.
Oh yeah, because Trix is is she still dying? I forgot.
Mm-hmm.
Dang it.
She's knocked out.
When the explosion happened, she kind of just ragdolled her.
For some reason, I thought you said all three of us walked up to the crater, so I wasn't even thinking.
I did, but I forgot.
Okay.
You cast Cure Wounds on Trix. What's that?
That gives her 18 health back. Gosh, dang, that was a good roll. I rolled a 7 and an 8.
Trix, your eyes start to open back up, and you see Sylvester standing next to you, and he reaches out his hand, and you take his hand and both stand up. Grok, you're still by this crater in the ground. The rope around you not just kind of detaches from himself and slithers up, sitting on your shoulder, and looks around, and before jumping off into the pit and slithering over to the two axes that are crossed on the ground. And it turns and looks back towards you, Grok, and kind of hisses.
Grok is gonna look up and just kind of see that, Trix and Sylvester are okay, and he's gonna look back down at the crater, and he's gonna kind of like reach out for the axes to maybe try and pick one up and inspect it, see if maybe there's some kind of hint here as to where they could have gone, or if it's just a weapon left over to take.
You reach down and grab the handle of one of these axes and give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. That's a natural 20 plus 2 for 22.
So you reach out your hand and you grab this axe, and as you grab it, you kind of lift it up to your face, and you're inspecting it to see what's going on. And they are shimmering. They are completely transparent. The blade of them is kind of carved in a swirling pattern with skulls on the brass that's holding the pommel to the actual blade. Out of the base of both of them at the exact same time, a chain shoots out and around both of your wrists, wraps around both of your wrists. And it's slightly uncomfortable, but they kind of attach to what feels like your bone at the elbow on both sides. And you stand up, kind of turn back toward the other two, and there's a flash of light in the crater, and you turn back around, and there's a small lockbox.
Grak, I mean, at this point, there's really nothing else left for him to do but just keep inspecting whatever's going on here. He doesn't have anything to say to anyone. He's just kind of going through the motion, so he's going to reach out and look at the box too.
So you slide back down into this crater. You open the box, not locked, not hot, not anything like that. It doesn't look like the other boxes. Inside are both of Tricks and Sammie's keys and a note. You take out the note and open it. It says,
"Tell my father I'm okay. King Georgetown will not fall."
And that's all the letter says.
And he kind of reads it a couple of times and then just like nods without saying anything, sticks it in his pocket, and is going to go walk over to the other two.
You stick it in your pocket, still holding this box, walk over to the other two, and you slam this box closed. And as this box slams shut, that same pain fills the back of the three of your heads.
Oh, attempt 724. When I was in a similar place as your friend here, I saw different outcomes. The same 5 minutes repeating, but it was different every time. This is something else entirely. There seems to be no other outcome at all. It's the exact same every time.
After your brain, the fog in your brain kind of clears and your vision comes back, you're no longer standing at Grimm Manor. You are standing on the beach of King Georgetown.
I'm saying Tricks deserves something.
Yeah.
For all
she's got
of her hard
Marion.
work.
A lot of
Marion. She's got Marion, but come
Marion's
on, guys.
broken. When Marion's in a good mood, she does radiant damage.
And that was a huge boon in this fight.
Yeah.
Thank you all so much for listening to episode 10 and a half, I guess, of Keys to the Kingdom Origins. We kind of did a two-parter for Halloween. Happy Halloween, everyone. Hey. No one else is going to say it besides Rebekah's ghost.
Happy
Halloween, everybody. Yeah, we had a lot of fun with this one. My brother, David-Agustus, kind of actually helped me write a lot of this storyline.
No, Augustus didn't. David did. This is the time where it's the reverse. This time it was David.
Okay,
not Augustus.
This time it's the other way. My brother, David, who played Augustus, helped me write a good bit of this story, and I am so thankful for you. Thank you for giving your time to this podcast. You're absolutely incredible.
You're welcome. I had so much fun.
It's great to have you on the show.
Yeah, I loved it.
It really is.
Loved every minute of it.
Also, he has a podcast called Podzilla. David, do you want to expound a little bit?
Yeah, so Podzilla is a digital discourse in pop culture, which just simply means it's conversations about everything pop culture, from movies to TV shows to comic books to video games to music. We just talk about everything. We talk about trailers on our YouTube channel. We even have breakdowns of trailers. We also do, we watch movies and comment on them, as well as our podcast episodes. So there's a lot to experience. If you go to YouTube and search Podzilla, you will find the podcast. You can also listen to my band if you search My Mansion, A Separation of Church and State of Mind, wherever you listen to digital music, and that's it.
And that will also be in the episode's description, the link to Podzilla. Again, thank you so much, David, for being in these episodes. Absolutely amazing, and helping write the concepts for these episodes. Absolutely incredible. Thank you so much. If you want to keep in touch with us, if you want to rant about this episode or the episode before or anything, we have a Discord. You can follow us there. The link will be down in the description. You can join there. We have maps, we have fan art, we have all of us that you guys can come and talk to. There's a lot of stuff in here. I just recently made a new channel for NPCs that I've made on Hero Forge. If you don't know what Hero Forge Forges. This is not a sponsorship, but they are incredible. Shout out to Jordan Coates for putting me on Hero Forge because it's incredible. I like to make all the characters because it gives me a better idea of
really cool.
how to describe them when we're playing, and I absolutely have adored Hero Forge, so shout out to Hero Forge. You can also follow us on Twitter at KTTKcast. We also have Instagram. We're going to be doing some stuff with Twitch and posting these on YouTube as well. So if you guys wanted to follow, the Twitch channel is twitch.tv/KTTKcast, as well as YouTube by searching KTTKcast as well. Without any further ado, thank you so much for listening to Keys to the Kingdom, episode 10.5. I am your DM, and my name is Johnny.
Hi, I'm Noah, and this has been 10.5 Sylvester.
Daniel, I think you're next.
Oh, I guess so. Hi, I'm Daniel, and you're watching Disney Channel.
That was actually something that was said in the very first episode.
Was it?
Yeah, get
It
some
was.
original content,
All
streamer
right.
boy.
I'm like rock.
And I'm Rebekah, and I play Tricks.
And I'm David, and I was Augustus.
Still are.
Oh.
You're still out there somewhere. We'll find you.
Augustus
Send
was.
a note.
Ether.
Anyway, thank you guys so much for listening, and have a magical day. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
We're from world unknown. Our stories untold. Roll away the dice. We'll vanquish the darkness. See the fear in its eyes. No matter the danger from us to send, don't be afraid, just take my hand. Don't be afraid, the prophecy is near. We hold the keys, we make our stand. In this together, just take my hand. Unlocking the magic in distant lands, we're stronger together. I'm here, my friend. Unlocking the magic. Just take my hand. We hold the keys to the kingdom.
Oh, wow. I'm an Amazon Prime Week winner. I won a new MacBook Pro. I can get my
Oh my
brand new
gosh.
MacBook by clicking
Oh,
here.
nice.
I can't believe it.
You should definitely strike while the iron's hot on that one.